You know, the families that lost loved ones, there's never going to be justice. You know, I don't care how many people you would catch and convict and potentially, sentence to death or life in prison. That's not going to bring their loved ones back, And I mean, I guess I'm lucky in a position that my family members weren't killed, but I know a lot of good friends that were killed in that bombing. I can't believe the anguish that a family would go through to lose a child or a husband or a father or a wife. I just don't know if, quote, justice really makes people feel better. I think there is something to putting an end to it as the process of the event occurred, the investigation, the identification of suspects, the conviction of those men. I think that brings some closure to people that maybe lets them go on with their life, but I don't know if it makes them feel better.
I believe everyone knew, from the moment April 19th, 1995 happened, how important the case was to the country, but also a reflection of our justice system and to the victims and the survivors. So there was that emotion that you felt of just your enormous responsibility, but then there was the human emotion of dealing with the people who were actually victimized by the crime. And no matter what your situation, how tough you have to be as a prosecutor, you can't help but relate to people who've gone through the biggest tragedy one could ever imagine. And I always say I learned so much from the victims. I felt emotional much of the time. I tried to channel that into doing a really good job. But I learned, I hope, how to be graceful and have dignity in a time of incredible turmoil. And every time I stood up in court, I try to think about that, because while it was professionally challenging for me, it wasn't my family member who was going through this. And so I tried to, again, use that emotion to do my job as best as I could for them.